Hello and welcome dear traders and investors. I'm glad to present to you the cryptocurrency market review presented by analysts and experts from fx.co portal. Here we go. Bitcoin and Ethereum are finally showing signs of resuming their downward trend. Having lost 12 and 20% respectively over the past few weeks, there are a liquidity pool below that both cryptocurrency will likely pass through completely, with a possibility of 90%. Recall that we have repeatedly warned in recent weeks that any rise in Ethereum or Bitcoin is a correction, and one should expect the resumption of the main downward trend. Meanwhile, experts continue to signal a capital outflow from ETFs, which perfectly reflects the decline in demand for cryptocurrencies among institutional traders. Simply put, large players do not believe in Bitcoin's further growth, given the conflict in the Middle East and highly probable tightening of the Federal Reserve's monetary policy in 2026. It should be noted that the last bullish trend in Bitcoin occurred during a period of market expectations of Fed rate cuts. It began in the fall of 2022, when inflation in the US started to slow, which immediately fostered expectations of a reduction in the key rate by the American Central Bank. Now, the situation is in the opposite. Inflation in the US has risen by 1.4% in just 2 months and may continue to rise. The break-even area for many traders who had previously opened longs was around 78.80k. But they did not wait for a new bullish trend. Additionally, the last halving, contrary to popular belief, did not lead to sustainable growth for Bitcoin. Time passes, and the patterns and models that previously ensured significant growth no longer work. It is noteworthy that 2025 was the first year in Bitcoin's history in which, after halving, Bitcoin depreciated rather than increased in value. Thus, we still do not see any basis for a new upward trend or signs of an end to the downward trend. On the daily timeframe, Bitcoin continues to form a downward trend and is correcting against it. The trend structure is identified as downward, and the CHOCH line remains at the level of 97,900 USD. Only above this level can it be considered that the downward trend has ended. As there are no signs of an upward trend reversal, we believe a decline will resume sooner or later. On the daily timeframe, the nearest point of interest area for sell traders is in the range of 79,500 and 81,100 USD. This area has been worked out several times, but the market's response has been weak. However, on the hourly time frame, the upward structure has been broken, so the probability of Bitcoin's decline increases. Currently, there has been no reaction to the bullish FVG. The response has been very weak. On the 4-hour chart, Bitcoin is correcting against its own correction. The CHOCH line of the current upward structure is at 74,950 USD. A consolidation below this level will signal a trend breakdown. This could be a very important signal for the market regarding a trend change. The completion of the upward trend on the 4-hour timeframe could serve as a starting point for a new burst of trend on the daily timeframe. There are still no fundamental grounds for Bitcoin's long-term strengthening, and spot demand remains very weak. Every day, more signals are emerging about the completion of a 3-month correction. The only bearish FEG on the 4-hour timeframe may provide an opportunity to open short positions. On the daily timeframe of Ethereum, the downward trend is forming, and a correction against it. The key sell pattern has been and remains the bearish order block on the weekly timeframe. As we warned, the movement provoked by this signal can be strong and prolonged. We do not believe it is finished, as there are no signs of an end to the downward trend for either Bitcoin or Ethereum. In the near term, Ethereum may continue to decline, as signs of the completion of the 3-month correction are increasingly daily for both Ethereum and Bitcoin. On the 4-hour timeframe, the trend is downward, so bearish patterns can be used to open short positions. The target remains at the level of 1742. That's all for today. See you online soon and good luck.